If you're a beginner sewer and you don't have an overlocking machine, these two tools are essential to make your life easy when it comes to sewing. This is the shearing scissors and this is the zigzag foot. You have it in your toolbox if you haven't used it before. It's very versatile, especially when you don't have your overlocking machine. At times you don't have the overlocking machine because you have just bought a new machine or you are not yet ready to use the overlocking machine. So these two tools are going to come handy for you. Let me show you how these two tools are a must in your toolbox. You have to remove the straight stitching foot and then you use the zigzag foot like this. Then attach the zigzag foot. It must click.
Have the settings. 00 is going to be our straight.
And when we want to do a zigzag stitch, we have to switch off the machine and switch it back again, and then you'll be able to change the stitching. A bit shows the length of the zigzag. If you want to increase the zigzag, you go further. If you want to decrease, you go backward. So I want it at 6. So this is going to be my tension, and I want it a little bit tighter because I'm tightening up the seams. So I'm going to drop it down to 1.8. Settings are done. So I'm neatening up the raw edges as if I'm using an overlocker. The seam has been neatened. Let's look at another form of overlocking which we can use using this foot, which is the zigzag foot, and taking advantage of our simple foot and overlocking the edges.
Working on stretchy fabrics can be a challenge because the stretchy fabrics tend to pucker when you are using the normal straight stitching. So this stitch which I'm going to show you now, number 10, is very good because it avoids puckering, and your stitches, it does overlock as well at the same time. So we're going to do 1 there, and then it's already on 0, so that should be fine. We like our stitch length to be slightly wider, so we're going to do 5. We're going to do 6, and we'll leave the stitch length at 2.5.
This fabric tends to curl up when you are machine stitching, and it puckers as well. But when you are using this foot and using that stitch length, which is stitching and overlocking, that doesn't happen. So what you need to do is just to trim the excess there at the top so that it holds the threads together. Next setting for our overlocking stitch using our zigzag foot is going to be number 22. This one here. So we're going to change the setting on the sewing machine. We are going to go to, and I would like the zigzag to be slightly bigger, longer. So I'm going to go to 6, and I don't want it to be too tight, so I'm going to go for 2.5. That's the settings. We are ready to go. I'm right on the edge. You can be off the edge and trim. This is how that stitch works. You can be on the edge and trim later. This stitch stitches while it is overlocking, so which is really brilliant. So these are our 3 stitches which we can rely on whilst we're waiting to buy our overlocking machine. 1, 2, and 3. The pinking shears, you use them to neaten up the raw edges after you have stitched your seams, and they won't fray, especially on cotton and on stretchy fabrics. You can use it there, stretchy fabrics. All this is neatened up. You don't need the overlocker.